Let's do it. Oh, that's not on. What happened? Nope, it's on there. There. Hello? You guys hear me? Just really low. Hello. There we go. All right. Sausages. Bananas. All right. Good morning. All right. What's up, Slater? Kenneth. Slater and Kenneth, the consistent brothers. Always. I appreciate you. Good morning, Gus. Good morning, Jake. Jake wants to talk about Murph prep and how amazing it can be or how shitty it is. It's like I'm in an underwater cave. I like it. All right. Okay. This show is brought to you by Candlestick Coffee. Boop. Right there. Guys, remember, if you're looking for coffee, get Candlestick. All right. Candlestickcoffee.com. Code WODprep for 10% off. It's good. I know you guys all drink the same fucking shit because you're a bunch of sheep. Try something different. No offense to Paper Street. I know it's amazing, but it's okay. There's a lot of good coffee out there. So switch it up sometime. It'll be good for you. All right. Oh, hey, Jake. I wanted to know, do you guys like Ted? Do you like Ted Lasso? Or is that like an insult to like British culture? No, it's like one of my favorite fucking shows. I think it's hilarious. But I assume you hate it for some unknown reason in your stress-free life. Hmm. Oh, that's good. You should. It was filmed at your old gym. I'm trying to think of what scenes would have been in a gym. Good morning. There he is. Look, there's Mr. Candlestick himself, Zach Smith, in the house, making sure that I talk about his coffee so that he can keep sending it to me. Oh, that's pretty cool. Interesting. That's dope. You should watch it. It's funny. Good morning, Jody. All right, guys. I feel like there's a lot happening in the CrossFit world, but then again, it's like all the same shit over and over again. So we did a show yesterday talking about some programming. Happened to come out right when the team workouts came out. And so it was, a big, I don't know, what's the word? Bomb, maybe. I don't know. Something for all the running. I think it's going to be fine. I mean, it's going to be a shit show. Let's just be clear. But here, I guess let's go to barbell spin. I want to read some of the comments. What do you guys think? Do you guys think running an online qualifier is stupid? I mean, I think I know the answer, but I just want to know what you guys think. All right. So everyone's got an opinion, per usual. Pretty sure Justin, I respect Justin a lot. Seems that he's family man, and I know he's gone through a lot of stuff, but I feel like everything that I see him publicly is like pretty negative against CrossFit. So running is, I think it's a necessary thing to test to get to the CrossFit Games. And it's impossible to standardize like online. So this is going to be a shit show. I think the effort is there. How do we ever know if it's going to be a shit show or not if we don't try it, right? And I think that's where I am at this point is let's see if it's doable. And then if it's not, then it's not. But how do you ever know unless we just make an effort, right? We did shuttle runs and it's a pain in the ass. Everyone's like, oh, the judging and everything is there. But I think there's at least they're fucking trying to make a difference or change something, right? Because everyone's, everyone complains about everything that CrossFit does, right? And I think them at least trying to do something different is better than sticking with the status quo that everyone already hated, right? But I do think this is going to be a shit show. But I think the test is awesome. I think this test specifically is really, really good. I think it's a really good test. So, I don't know. It is what it is. What's up, Corey? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Boom. Okay. Well, the whole world talked about running. Ow, why is this sore? Oh, the whole world talked about running yesterday. So we'll talk about something else. I don't know. What else? Where's Gus? He was in here and then he left. I think he had to poop. Oh, so here's a good question for all 17 of you cooking eggs. What is the biggest stressor in your life? What's the biggest stressor? Is it money, relationships, time, work? What do we think? Anyone cry on? I haven't watched it yet. Should I watch it? Why would I cry? Generational work. So work is the biggest stress. So is that work because work itself is stressful or because it doesn't like provide enough? Oh, it's a prediction. Oh, I got it. Money. Money, work. Sally, why is work stressful? Is it because of the time that it takes away from the family, or is your job specifically stressful, or is it because the job doesn't provide enough support for your life? Like, are you like, do you live like, are you required to, like work more, etc.? I don't think generational wealth was an option. Zach, I think typically no one cares about teams. No one does care about teams, but this is going to be a shit show because there's a lot of teams doing this thing too because you didn't have to qualify. I think if there was like 100 total teams that had qualified for this point, it would be different, right? Because then you could review 100 videos and it wouldn't be a big deal. But there's how many teams are, we'll kind of bounce back and forth here. Let's see, semifinal leaderboard. Share this instead. Oh, dude, time away from family sucks. I agree. I don't know what this means. Gus, my memory is like not very long. Oh, this is interesting. So, as I said that, talking about the amount of teams, let's talk about the amount of teams that are actually signed up. So, it's this week. There's 50 on a page. There's only 2 pages and to 1.5 pages actually of total teams signed up. So while this running thing is gonna be a shit show for sure, it's we can like the CrossFit can what's the word? Regulate it? No. They can review every video. And there's only 70 teams signed up. So with this few of teams, right? I'm not going crazy, right? That's it. This is it. There's 50 on a page, okay? And there's only oversee. Thank you, Kenneth. That's because I was doing a show to review the workouts, and then it ended up being a decent show. So jump off a bridge still. All right. Um Corey, I just ran at 800 and 315. Yep. You can totally trust me. So again, I do think this is gonna be a shit show for sure. But with only 70 teams, it's gonna be manageable. Like they're gonna be able to manage this. It's not that many people, right? So I think this is a good thing, unless there's like 100 more teams or 200 more teams that sign up, it's gonna be really it's gonna be um I think every video is gonna be able to be reviewed, right? So I think it'll be less. Um, I just want to see. Can we see who's on the team? No, fucking of course not. I don't understand this. Why can't we see who's on the team? Like, I don't understand. Oh, yes, we can. Team roster. Haha. I'm an idiot. View profile. We can't see for proven team. That's weird. Hmm. I guess we just look here. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. So 70 is very, very manageable within the confines of like the 6,000 that were just reviewed for masters, right? So I think it's going to go better than anticipated just because of the volume of teams. It's 70 videos. 70. One person could do it, the whole thing. And all you have to do, right, is you have a couple of things, someone runs with you. It is what it is. Is it annoying? For sure. But it's 70 teams and not 700 or 7,000. I think it's going to be super manageable. Who knows? Maybe I'm an idiot. Probably am. That's fine. Sally, back to the job and stress thing. All right. I did some sled pushes yesterday, and I put my shoulders into the sled, and I have bruises like right where my delt meets my tricep. Ow, man, that hurts. Sally, my job isn't very stressful, but someone constantly needs something from me, and that's stressful. Job security, yes, but it wears in on me. Sally, what do you do for work? But I feel it, right? I understand that 100%. I haven't been doing this since 95. I was only 5. But hello, Grant. I still think this is Grant. I don't know. I think every meme could count as Grant. Um, but I understand someone always needs something from you. I have an amazing job. I don't work 9 to 5. Um, I don't, um, but while I don't work 9 to 5, and I'm not required to be anywhere at any time, um, I'm the same amount of work 52 weeks out of the year is due on Sunday every week, no matter what the account is or holiday or time of the year or whatever, right? So someone always, always, always needs something from me too. So I totally feel that. Um, mm, Gus, should you start an OnlyFans? Yes. Feet pics only. Call it like Lazy Eye Gus. I think that's a good name. You're fired. Every fake account is Grant. I agree. 100%. 100%. All right. So left big toe. I think there's like a market for the right big toe more so. Anyway, so the reason why I brought up the stress thing was because someone. What do you mean? Sponsors are on the screen. I don't even know what that means. Can you not see this below me? I'm so confused. Because Jake says he doesn't believe in stress or doesn't have any stress, right? And then he started jabbing at us. I don't know what you want me to do with that. If there's a comment pulled up, it's just going to be at the bottom. I guess I can put it at the top. That basically America, fake accounts. So Autistic Killer, it's not fake. I just literally use this to watch and troll CrossFit pods. No other socials in my life. I'm free. But it's not you. This isn't your picture and this isn't your name. Thus, it's a fake account. That's how that works. It's a fake account. Like if it's not your name and your face, it's a fake account. It is fake. Just to be clear, that's literally how that works. So it's fake account. All right. Anyways, so Jake said, he trolled America about school debt and the requirements for like keeping up with the Joneses in theory, right? Of like social pressures and shit like that. And so my question was, does debt directly equate to stress? Right. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I think it can for sure. And I think that kind of rolls into money, job, etc. But I don't know if that's a very United States specific stressor, right? School debt for sure, right? Yeah, different kinds of debt. So school debt sucks, but I don't think it's like a stress point, right? So of everyone that watches podcasts, unless you're a physician, I probably have more school debt than you. And it doesn't stress me at all. Not even a little bit. Right. And so I think people, do I wish I didn't have it? 100%. It's shitty debt. I say all the time that it was useless. And then I follow it up with it did two things for me because I don't use my degree in the actual sense, right? It initially opened the doors to create the movement doctor, which you see there. Which linked me to WODprep, which has given me the job that I have, right? And it does help me create separation in a unique offer when we're talking about coaching and remote programming, and it sets us apart. And it taught me how to learn and to digest and absorb information really well from like reading research and educational content and things like that. And so it wasn't a total waste. Now, was it worth the amount of debt that it accrued? Probably not. But again, it put me in this job that I fucking love, and I have an amazing. It's 7 a.m. I'm home, and I get to hang out with Bennett in the morning and take him to school. And I come home or I work out, and then I work, right? And so, um, specifically to the school debt, it doesn't stress me. I think other things probably stress me, and I think a lot of things can always roll back into financial, right? I was like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. I, you know, I think if you are smart with money and you put it in the right things, it will buy time, right? And it can remove other stressors, right? Like work volume. So I think money can, if you're smart with it, like you just can't throw money at all your problems, but for me, my biggest stressor is time. I wish I had more time in the day to spend more time with my family, more time to work separately, so that I could spend more time with my family or that I could golf more, right? Or train more, etc. Um, so so I think money can kind of like roll back into it in general, but it's not just because I don't have enough, right? Or this is just in general, like generally speaking. I think it rolls into a lot of it. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if I believe or like I agree with that school debt is there, right? This is the responsibility that we took, you know. Um, my government not paying for like my secondary education, I have no problem with, right? I think giving massive loans to un uneducated children, basically 18 to 22 years old, is pretty dumb and scammy and predatorial. So I don't like that. It is what it is, though. You know. Um, but for the most part, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of options for the school debt, right? It was like, oh, school debt's so stressful. And it's like, I mean, there's payment options and there's all these things. And so I don't think anyone should really be stressed about that. But what am I to do? All right. So next topic. Um, two things. So I'm trying to Gucci's coming into town and she's going to train for 5 weeks, which I'm so fucking stoked about. I've never had an athlete come into town to train full time with me. So I'm really, really excited about that. But I've sort of been, see, this is what I'm thinking, right? I think we should just win the lottery. So, but I'm sort of like in charge of finding her accommodations and place to stay and like travel and room and board, etc. And that's been super stressful. It's been really challenging to find things, mainly to find a vehicle, right? Renting a car for 5 weeks is absurd. So I'm trying to find someone. Hey, Gus, if you want to come to Pensacola for 5 weeks or a month or a week and train, I'm here. This is my job. Um, so I found a place and now we're trying to find a vehicle. And this is tough. I'm trying to like ask friends that have extra cars and things because like renting is going to be over $1,000. I'm just going to cost the car is going to cost more than the room to rent, which is so fucking annoying. So annoying. Very frustrating. Uh, my work is cool with me working remote. Just get a better job. Uh, you literally do everything online. You could have. I feel like an accountant could definitely have a remote job all the time. Um, and so I'm hoping that I can find a car, but I'm coming up short. But we did. She was like 30 minutes away, and then like 35 minutes from the gym. But now we've got her somewhere that's like 10 minutes from me. Um, what's a Z car? What's a Z car? Z car? I don't even know what that is. What's a Z car? Turo's too expensive. Corey, you didn't know I lived in Pensacola? See, perfect. So if you did 3 days, this is sweet. No, Turo is still like $1,200. Yeah, I knew. You're in Louisiana, right, Corey? I feel like we talked about this. You do Imam Co, which I would assume means you're in Louisiana. It's kind of like a good a good comparison there. Um, Zip car, is that a thing? Let's see, Zip car. Oh, hourly rentals. Oh my gosh, there's no fucking way that's going to be cheaper. I found it. I'm looking. Perfect. Gus, you should just buy an old car for exactly. Yeah. Perfect. They're from Iceland. They've lived in Bali. They drive fucking mopeds and scooters. We'll just give them an 8,000-pound truck that's 16 feet long and let them fucking drive it. Anyways. Anywho, so I'm trying to find a car. That's where we're at with that. They could no. Anyways, all right. On to the next. So I got to find a car. Corey, you should come over. We'll get some training in anytime. Can't bicycle. I love hip pocket. No, you can't really moped around Pensacola. I mean, I guess you can, but they can't moped to the gym because you have to get on the highway. No, I'm not buying a car. Avera coming in hot with the delay, watching on the delay. When you have your health, you have thousands of problems. When you lose your health, you only have one problem. This is true. This is true, but this is why we do what we do, right? I don't think anyone here truly has health problems. Maybe me, right? um, I no, but I mean that's why we do this, right? To avoid becoming a fucking statistic. And it's a blessing that we can have stress in other aspects of our life and not stress in the one thing that can kill us, you know? So getting really deep all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, this is great, you know, but it's true. It's 100% true. Like when, you know, everyone brings stress upon themselves, right? I wouldn't say my job is stressful. It can be, right? Just because there's a lot to do all the time as a business owner and a leader within the other company. And so, there's always something to do. There's never a point 7 days a week where I can just be like, oh, I'm completely done and all the boxes are checked for my job. And so there is stress and I'm working at leading a much less stressful life. Um, and reducing social media was a huge driver of that and reading more. Um, but we but when February of 23, when all of a sudden I can't stand, the only thing that fucking mattered was, oh shit, I might not be here to support my family, and that was it, right? It's crazy, it's a crazy thing. Pensacola, Panama City Beach is much farther, so you're not quite. I think is Baton Rouge 4 hours. Baton Rouge is like 3 hours. Um, yeah. Oh, 4 hours. Yeah, yeah. So I'm in Pensacola. Um, oh, wife is calling. That's right. I'm not as cool as Savant. I can't answer my phone. Anyways, okay. So we are perfect. Come on. Like today? You're not talking about today, are you? So I have my little I just texted her. I have like this like express cold brew maker. It's called the Vinci, and it you fill it with water and it pushes it through. And so it makes cold brew in like 30 minutes, which is great. And so usually it's full like when it finishes. But today I went out to the kitchen and it was like there was like a chunk missing, and Perrin usually doesn't pour coffee out of it because she has her own store bought. And so we there was like a good bit missing, and I was really confused, and I was like, oh no, did it like sometimes it leaks, like the way that it pushes through, it'll like start to spray. Anyways, and so I was like, oh no, did it leak? And so I'm like looking to clean it up, and I'm not finding anything. The counter's kind of sticky, and I was like, oh, maybe it did leak, but I don't see anything. And so I texted her. I was like, did you pour some? She's like, yeah, why? I'm like, oh, well, you never pour some. So how did I know? I thought I thought it was leaking. Troy, where do you live? It takes you 4 hours to get to Panama City Beach, a completely dying beach. Very sad. Very sad. Panama City is super rundown. It stinks that it has gone to such shit. The economics there have just been terrible. Terrible. Spring break killed all of it. Okay. Oh, speaking of dogs, you guys see Duke? Duke, come here. Come here. Come on. No, you're not gonna get up. Come here. Duke, come here. Pine Mountain. Come here. Come on. Come here. Oh, that's a big stretch. Come on. Come on. Okay, come here. Turn around. Come here. Come here. Hey, right here. Come here. Duke. Come here. Ugh. Okay, well, he's not coming. He laid down. Anyways. Oh, hi, Bubby. How you doing? Cool. Pine Mountain. I don't know where Pine Mountain, Georgia is. I'm assuming 4 hours away from Panama City. Pine Mountain, GA. Oh, I drive through Pine Mountain basically to get to Atlanta all the time. Cool. Awesome. All right. Let's see. What else? What is so who's doing so here's another topic. So there's been this thing. Yep. Man, I got it. I found it on the map. So Murph prep, right? Everyone does Murph prep. Murph this year will be like May 26th to the 28th, one of those days. And so I hate Murph prep. I hate going into, and I only hate it for one reason, is because when you do Murph prep, you can't fucking do anything else. It drives me nuts. Okay. It does. As I hate Murph prep. I hate it. But I have this defending point in this defense of it. Okay. Let's talk about why we hate it first a little bit more. Okay. All right. Everyone's. So, so I love Murph. I love everything it stands for. I love hero workouts. I love just doing hard shit. all the time, right? That's why I love to cold plunge. That's why I love to like sauna uncomfortably. You know, I like to do I like to do hard things. And I love to do Murph. I love it. I've done Murph every way possible. I've done it partitioned, no vest, Cindy. I've done it partitioned with a vest. I've done it unpartitioned with a vest. I've done it in the sun, right? I've done it extremely. The only year I didn't do Murph was 2023. That was 3 months post fucking stroke, right? And so that was the only time I haven't done it in my like 15-year CrossFit history. Oh, have I done? I did it strict last year. Because I couldn't kip. So 2024, I did strict no vest. And so I think from a programming standpoint, prepping for Murph is I haven't done it barefoot. Prepping for Murph is over encompassing, and it just takes up the bandwidth of the week, right? So when you prep for Murph, right, it limits the run volume that you're going to do the rest of the week. It limits the squat volume you're going to do the rest of the week. It limits the pressing volume you're going to do the rest of the week, and the time on the bar, right? Because it is pause. First day back in CrossFit in over 4 months. Good luck, Troy. Go slower than you want. Okay. All right. Anyways. So it is it's too much of a burden to overcome when writing a template program. Okay. Now, and that's why I hate Murph prep. Okay. Now, some people want to beat their Murph time every year. They want to continue to get better. Okay. And just like if you were to prepare for the open or any competition, then it's an appropriate prep for that specifically. But I don't like doing it for a template. Just like, man, I had this paint pen. Anyways, I have this like glass pen and I let it dry it out. Fuck. Okay. So if your goal is to peak for Murph, then Murph prep is obviously fucking appropriate. Okay. But not everyone cares. And so putting it in a template track is not my favorite. I think it's just too over encompassing, and it takes up too much bandwidth of like the programming totality of the week. Okay. So Murph prep from a template standpoint sucks. Now, if your goal is to be fully prepped, like to be your best at Murph, and that's like your competition, right? And you're trying to beat your score and things, then I think Murph prep is extremely appropriate. Okay. All right. And so at that point, it makes sense. But for template programming, it sucks. Okay. But I have athletes, they're like, I want to do Murph prep because I really want to be ready. Right. And that's fine. And then they can do the stuff. And so in the WODprep, we had like people ask, are we doing Murph prep? No, we're focused. And also this year, the Community Cup is the next week. So we can't we're going to focus on that. That's what we're going to focus on. And that's what we're focusing on in our template program. If you want to join our template program, over there. I hope I'm pointing the right way this time. Who knows? It's over there. Scan that QR code, join our template track. But for the most part, it's unnecessary in a template. But we have 3 days a week for people that want to do it. Sub out your training because they want to do good at it. And if your goal is not just to complete it, your goal is to excel at it and peak for it and it is sort of like another competition for you, then prep is very, very appropriate, right? No, you don't need to prep just to complete it. But if that's not your goal, then the goal is to excel, then you should probably fucking do some Murph prep in general. Okay. So those are my thoughts on it. All right. Kyle asks, any advice for someone who let their fitness tank for 3 to 4 years? Whoa. Okay. Find it in themselves to push themselves on CrossFit WODs anymore. I think there's a lot of like nuance in this question, right? What does it mean that you let it tank for 3 to 4 years? Like you haven't done a workout in 1400 days. Like what are we talking about here? What does that mean? And then as far as push yourself on CrossFit WODs. So you're still doing WODs and you just can't take yourself to threshold and to red line all the time. Are you still working out? Are you still doing some conditioning? Give me some more information here, and I'll put it in. I'll answer it. But Murph prep, I think it's dumb for a template, and I'm so glad that we don't do it anymore because I hated writing it. The open would finish and we'd go right into it, and then it just becomes this fucking thing that everything is revolved around. You know, you could just do Cindy. You just run one day a week and do Cindy every weekend and you'll be fine. I mean, you just really shouldn't have. I mean, but some people, they want to do better, right? They want to go from partition to unpartition. And if you've never done 100 pull-ups in a row, then like in a workout, then you probably should do some pull-up volume, right? And so I think when you're trying to like make the jump and change how you do Murph, so you've done it one way and you want to go to the next one, and so I think it's appropriate sometimes, but not on a template. I don't think it's appropriate for a template track. But we do have so Vicky asks, can you do it as a supplement and bonus fitness? So now we're talking about volume totality, right? So you did your 90 minutes of training, and now you're going to do another 30-minute session of just squats, push-ups, and running and pull-ups, right? I think if you're going to do it, it's a replacement, which is why I don't like it, right? You can't just add it on because then you're just going to be, shooting the shit and just kind of slogging your way through it for no apparent reason. So I think it's okay to add on if your training session is short, but if you're just adding it on top of your normal conditioning, probably not ideal. That's not bad advice. Okay, Kyle says, I should clarify, I went through lots of life changes, gained weight, still did some fitness in that time. I mean, Kyle, this sounds like you're doing exactly what you're unsure about, right? Kyle says, I'm nowhere near what I was in 2020, but I've trained for a marathon recently and my first marathon on Saturday. Fucking amazing. Good luck. You're going to smash it, right? Make sure you set appropriate expectations, right? Set appropriate goal times, etc., based on your training. I'm down 50 pounds, but I hit a wall and you're stuck at your current weight. That's okay. Right. And it's, don't move the goalpost, right? Right. So you've already lost 50 pounds. That's amazing. Dude, 1% of people lose that much weight ever in their entire life. Okay. So you're already You're already winning, dude. All right. You're already winning. Don't move the goalpost. Okay. If you're stuck at your current weight, that's okay. Finish the goal, finish the marathon, and then rework the goals. Okay. Find what's next. Right. If the goal again is weight loss, great. You know what you've been doing. You're kind of stagnant there. Review your food, review your fitness, review your sleep, review your stressors. Okay. And start to make some small adjustments each way and make changes. But you're focused right now on the marathon, focus on that. Okay. And it's fine. And if CrossFit isn't your go-to anymore, right? You also don't need to push to blackout every workout, right? You're obviously doing some fitness if you train for a marathon, right? So, if CrossFit isn't your thing anymore, that's okay. Find something that is bodybuilding, high rocks, running, marathon training. It doesn't matter. Swimming. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Play with some different things. If the specifics of CrossFit aren't doing it for you anymore, that's okay. Um, uh, find something that motivates you. It doesn't matter what it is, right? And if it's the CrossFit still motivates you, but you just don't want to go to, like push that red line threshold stuff anymore, that's fine too. You don't have to push like that. That's okay. Find workouts that you enjoy. Push when you can. And you don't have to do it every day. I don't do it every day. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. Right. Yesterday, I hopped in with some of the coaches at the gym. They were doing a high rocks training day. And so that's what I did. It was like sled pushes, walking lunges, and machine work, and hand over hand pulls. It was great. And today I'll lift. I'll do some of the WODprep training. Probably from yesterday, it was like power cleans and power snatches. And then I'll do some CrossFit and maybe a little bit of bodybuilding. Maybe I might not even condition today. I might just do lifting and some bodybuilding, right? Usually if I condition really hard one day, then I won't the next day because I don't need to condition every day. It's just not my thing. So, don't put pressure on yourself to have to send it each day. Just, it seems as though if you are, if you're doing something regularly, then it's great. You've already lost 50 pounds, right? Don't move the goalposts. Give yourself some slack. You've already done an amazing thing. Lucas, you broke your foot? Come on. Yeah, for sure. This is, dude, Kyle. Kyle says, I think I get too wrapped up in how much weight I used to. Used to deadlift, and I get mad at myself when I can't hit those numbers. Man, dude, I'm right there with you. I go through waves of like, I snatched, what was it? A few weeks ago, I snatched 185, and that was like a huge deal, right? Because I didn't think I'd ever snatch 185 again. And it's probably the most I'll ever snatch again. I know I can't ever get stronger, right? And I'm not going to play the feel sorry for me game, but I'll put it in perspective, right? And this helps with my athletes a lot, right? You certainly can get back to whatever. I don't know how old you are, but it doesn't sound like you're 60. Right? You can get back to all of those old things. It's just going to take time, right? And consistency, right? If that's your goal, you can get back there, but it also doesn't have to be your goal, right? The goal doesn't have to be as fit as you were 5 years ago, right? It can just be more fit than you were yesterday, and that's okay, right? And if you do that consistently enough, 1%, then you'll reach and you'll surpass those old fitness levels eventually, right? So, there's no need to be hard on yourself for that, right? But just remember that you can still train as hard as you want, and we get to do this every day, right? Probably the one thing I took from Bergeron right, is change we get to from we have to, right? So we get to do this every single day. All of us here watching, we get to do it. Be thankful for that. Super, super important and something that I think a lot of us forget. So we get to do this, right? And like Corey said, intensity is relative, right? Like what is a PR weight? If that's your goal, work towards that. That's fine. Right? We're never always our strongest ever. Everyone in here right now, it's unlikely that they are at their peak strength that they've ever been in their life. Even our younger people watching versus our older people watching, right? It's very unlikely any of us are at our peak strength right now. Right? Like the strongest you've ever been in your life, like right this minute today, right? So you're not alone there. It's just part of it, right? It comes through waves, right? You went through whatever life stressors you went through, and you've already made a lot of changes, right? Do the marathon, like Trish says, and then start doing some conditioning, right? So it's not something that, I'm not going to tell you not to stress over it. Everyone has their own thing, but comparing just your ability now to your ability 5 years ago isn't fair to yourself, right? It's not fair to the stressors that you've gone through, the external factors that are playing a role in your life, because you didn't have those factors 5 years ago, right? So you're a different person, you're at a different stage of life, right? If your goal is to get back there, great. Just start making those steps. But don't be upset that you're not already there. You can easily get back there. Everyone, right? Right. Aging, comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy for sure. Um, yeah. There's another question. How old are you? I feel like I asked it. He didn't answer. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just assumed. All right. What else? Kyle, thank you for the question and the convo. I hope that was helpful. Maybe a little, maybe not. Avera, Greg said, get off the sugar, get off the couch. That's the objective. Do CrossFit, not do CrossFit. I feel like you should do CrossFit. Now, I'm biased. I think CrossFit's the way, right? But, you know, what do I know? So, good thing for you. I know a guy that can help. Back pain, Vera, I don't want to hear from you. You keep quiet over there. All right. The back of a 40-year-old. Interesting statement, right? Immediately, we have to reframe the narrative behind this relationship with your back, right? There's nothing about your back that says it's aging or old. Nothing. No matter what the image says, no matter what you're feeling, etc. Right? There is a huge predictive processing, learned response situation, right? That happens when people have back pain. Um, and we can really turn that around. And we turn that around with exercise, right? We have to stop babying it. We have to stop saying that, oh, I have the back of a fork. I don't even know what the fuck that means, right? That just doesn't make any sense. But I see it all the time as a PT. People come in, they're like, I have the knees. My doctor said I have the knees of an 80-year-old. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that means, right? It's just some CBIC language that creates a negative emotional response and relationship with a structure in the body, right? So reframing it is going to be really, really, really important. Okay. Right. Um, Immediately you have to change the narrative of how you are like talking about your back, right? 100%. Gus, I have the back of a 24-year-old, exactly. So, there's a lot of nuance behind that in that relationship that you've created, but it starts with the narrative and what you're telling yourself about it. Okay. The back is because it doesn't do what you want it to do, but it doesn't do what you want it to do because of years and years of modification, avoidance, or this nocibic language, which is like a language that can create a negative connotation and a negative pain response um, to what is normal, right? So something to consider, right? Change the narrative, change the narrative, change the narrative. Don't create this bad relationship with your back, right? From a mental standpoint. Sure, it might not do what you want it to do before, but you can build it back to those things. If like, oh, but I have this MRI that says this. All right. Well, everyone in here probably has a very identical, similar, unless you have rods in your back. I mean, even then, it doesn't matter, right? All of this is self created, right? We can work through all of these things. Most of these things and like this verbiage that I hear, this language, um, has no objective support, right? Everyone in this chat that's older than you probably has herniated discs, probably has bulges. They've had big, um, right? Exactly, right. So this is right on cue. Kyle said, I went to PT for back. They tell me to avoid these exercises. So 100% you should be doing every fucking exercise they told you to avoid. You should do every single one. Now, do you go and rip 400 off the ground? No, that's a real fucking bad idea. But you should bend over. You should be flexing your spine. You should be rotating. But because you avoid these things, and so again, I don't know, I only know the 4 messages that you've sent about your back pain, right? But if you have been avoiding things, the back is just going to continue to spiral and you're going to feel more and more and more limited. The back has individual vertebrae and segments, right? There's 33 vertebrae in the back for a reason. It's not a rod. If it was a rod, then it wouldn't be meant to flex. It's meant to flex. Yeah, everyone has everyone. I don't have the fucking call in, Gus. I haven't hooked up my phone yet, but I will. Um, uh, bulging disc. Perfect. Great. Everyone in here has had a bulging disc. Gus sent me a video yesterday of him most likely tweaking his back from probably either an old disc bulge or something that he did a little bit yesterday. Right? Vicky, I mentor Vicky. Okay. The day we started working together, Vicky was stuck sitting on the couch and couldn't get up. What do? We start moving. Vicky's deadlifting and squatting every day, right? Or 3 days a week. She's writing a squat program for herself. Okay. 2 days a week. But she's lifting, she's pulling off the ground, all the things. All right. So when you have back pain, this is specific, very specific to this. Of at no point should you avoid any pattern. Okay. Unless it's acute. It doesn't sound acute at all. It sounds very chronic, right? Or persisting. We don't use the term chronic. Chronic is nocibic. Persisting. It sounds like you've been dealing with this for a long time. Okay. So if you want real structured help, Movement Doctor, Instagram, message me. I do remote coaching. This is literally what I do. I help people in your situation all the time, right? Going back to your first message, you feel like you don't have the will to push in workouts. But I bet it has a lot to do with the back, and the back is limited, and now you're pissed. Trish, the number's way more than this. It's like 70 to 80% throughout life. Right. Let's see. See if I can find the um disc bulge percentage adults. There's like a Here we go. All right. So Trish brought up a good point. Let me bring it up here. Boom. So disc herniations, right? So the pain is gone, but all the range of motion sucks. So right. And so everyone's makes a very good comments here. But here's the data, right? Disc bulges are extremely common all the time, right? Disc degeneration, extremely common. Um, um, so these things happen. You're not alone. Everyone has this, but yes, the pain will go away, but the pain but we have to go back into full range of motion. You have to flex, you have to round. You can't avoid movements forever because what that's going to do is think about it as like a I make the comparison of like a um what's the drawing? Like the Vitruvian Man, right? So like for here, right? I can't ever think of the name of it. So the Vitruvian Man, right? This is what we start with, right? Full range of motion, big circle. As we modify activity and we limit range of motion, this guy gets smaller and that circle starts to decrease, right? And so our available range gets smaller and smaller and smaller over time, right? And so then what happens is yes, maybe our pain is a little bit lower, but our tolerance to big range and flexing and raking the yard and picking up a kid, playing with your dog or whatever, right? Like going skiing or anything, then we become more and more and more at risk because we don't tolerate our big patterns anymore. And so as we tolerate large patterns less, then our risk of injury is going to increase, right? So um, the number one thing that I do immediately with all of my people, right, is as long as they're not wickedly acute, is we immediately start working on range of motion. Like we go right to flexion. Okay. Right. We go right to flexion. We try to reintegrate flexion as soon as possible for anyone with a disc bulge, disc pathology, etc. We do extension, we do rotation, we do side bending, all of that kind of stuff too. But our main focus is to reintegrate flexion and maintain that as much as we can. And we start that with long sitting, right? Which is basically just, flexion is cat. But I do it with sitting with your legs straight and just kind of slouching, right? So this is my first go-to for everybody. So here, right? Except I just have them slouch and just start to lightly reach for the toes and get out of that perfect posture. Perfect posture is the death of back pain, in my opinion. This fake bullshit thing, right? There is no perfect posture. It's irrelevant. And also when it comes to back pain, perfect posture only even remotely matters when we lift heavy. But when we're not lifting heavy, we need to be flexing. We need to be rounding. We need to do things like Jefferson curls, like Kevin said, right? Jefferson curls, crossbody RDLs, thread the needles, right? All of these things, we have to be flexing the lower spine. That's what's going to help us build tolerance up to all our activities. Okay. And that's what's going to help you get comfortable deadlifting again. Right. Because if we only focus on quote unquote perfect positions and perfect posture, whatever, then as soon as we leave that posture, we are in a position that we're not strong in, we're not comfortable in, and we're not exposed to, right? So we want to expose ourselves under control to all of the patterns as often as possible, and that's going to help us reintegrate all of our lifts, lift heavy, etc. So whatever your PT said, stop avoiding things and just slowly reintroduce those patterns on a daily basis. Very important. That's my motto before I joined WODprep was rethink your rehab. And it was for this exact thing, specific to back pain, right? Is avoidance will be the death of all of your training and all of your, you know, independence and longevity in life. We never, ever, ever avoid unless it's literally the last option, And even then, it's usually only avoid for a very, very small amount of time because because it's a 10 out of 10 unremitting pain that you can't tolerate. And then we just find a smaller range of motion that you can tolerate. Right. And so it still ends up being, we never avoid ever, 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 ever. All right. Okay. Anything else? Hmm. Nothing. Cool. Well, hey, thanks, guys. I assume all of you dipped out to
and we were talking
to Jake's, which is cool. Yeah. Yeah. The mental relationship with the mental relationship with avoidant behavior will just lead into apprehension and fear and negative self-talk, all of the things, right? The things that we're trying to avoid. Like we just want to do everything, right? So when someone young tells me like, "Oh, I can't run anymore." I'm like, "Why not?" Like, "It's bad for my knees." I'm like, "Is it?" I'm like, "So you're 26 and you just don't want to run the rest of your life?" That's just like such a hard thing to digest in my head of like, "Oh, I'm just going to avoid," right? So Kyle's statement, so I went to PT to just avoid. So Kyle is 27 and we're just going to avoid deadlifting for the rest of your life and avoid hinging. That's just such a crazy concept. No, I've dug around. Quick question, want my opinion on Fritz? No. So the only way that this is real is because Rich truly feels like CrossFit as a company in a society is on a brink of like self-destruction and like death, that he will do it to revitalize the community. That would be it. The only reason, but I don't think he'll do it. No, I don't think so. I've asked around and all the answers I've got are no. So but so if Rich qualified for the games, he would. Yeah, he is listed as an alternate for sure. I think we'll hear a little more on the podcast today. I think it's released today. But that was Savon. Savon asked Darren about that. And so I asked around once I saw that clip. And then I think Dents put it on hers. And so I asked around and I got a no. I got a no from everybody. So, but yes, tickets would sell out without a doubt. I might even be able to convince my wife to go. She loved watching Rich. She loved watching Rich. back in the day. It would be. I mean, I could even see CrossFit could even like you could even see like a behind closed doors, like, hey, we'll give you $1 million if you qualify. Right? Like if you sell all of these tickets, we'll pay you, maybe not $1 million, maybe a couple $100,000, right? Because then they're going to get more sponsors, more people are going to go, sponsorships will fill up, tickets will sell. You know what I mean? So, you know what, Kevin? Shut your fucking bald head up, all right? I liked watching Rich, She liked watching team though. She did. It was weird. We'd go, I'd coach, and she's like, all right, I'm going to watch team. I'm like, you're going to watch team? Who watches that? She's like, I love watching team. I was like, all right. She tell you I have too much hair. I actually have like a full head of hair in the back. So yeah. Anyways, all right. I gotta get bended up. We gotta go to school. What's on my schedule today? This is funny. That's pretty funny. Corey said the one time I met Rich, I got a picture. He was solid as sent my wife the pic. First thing she said was, you can see his Abster shirt. When did I think I have one picture with Rich. It was maybe 2019 after the games. We saw him. We were there with Carlos and Ben. We were coaching a Masters. It was WODprep's first time at the games. I think I have a picture with him somewhere. Anyways, Sean, you just got here. You knew I was on act like this is new. Every Tuesday and Friday at 7. Clockwork, baby. Clockwork. Maybe not everyone. If I'm traveling, I'm pretty much giving up on it. All right. Let's finish with training. What am I doing today for training? Let's look at it. What do you think? Okay. I will probably do some version of this. I can't do handstand. Ugh. Need a new job. Coach CrossFit. I hear there's a lot of money in it. I'll probably do some version of this today. So I'll probably do some like legless rope climbs and maybe into some bench press. I can't do handstand push-ups. So maybe into some bench press, and then I'm not going to do a row time trial today. Absolutely not. Certainly not a Natalie, what do you do? Hard to watch live when you have a bunch of grown ass crybabies coming in your office. What do you do? And who's the crybaby? All right, let's see what our fit is. 3,000 meter row. I'll probably do some pull-ups. I might do push press. Sounds good. I kind of just hodgepodge our training to fit what I want to do. Perfect. I'll do some rope climbs and some bench press, and then maybe like push press and rowing and like weighted pull-ups on an EMOM or something like that. What do you guys think? I have a hair right here I'm trying to get. Ouch. A union sign company making files. That sounds like the most fucking boring job ever. Every piece of that, all 8 words or 7 words, union sign company making files for all of that just sounds not fun at all. But I hope you enjoy it. It's probably very needed. Way more important than my job. I PR'd my jerk last Friday, though, and I couldn't push a barbell overhead. Heavy dumbbells. Jody is amazing. Jody, a graphic designer. Oh, that's cool. All right, that's way more fun. All right. CNC is pretty sick. My buddy just got a CNC machine. I was like, for what? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, all right. I need more of you. So Kyle said, hire us for WODprep. Guys, I need more of you to fucking purchase WODprep programming, start hiring people. So I need more of you. It seems like we crush it. We do okay. But we need more people on the programming track. All of you follow Sentinel, which is great. I support Taylor. I think that's amazing. But if you're feeling something new, head over to WODprep. Scan the QR code over there. Boop. All right. I'm going to roll. Thank you guys for being here. Guys, make sure to support our sponsor, Candlestick Coffee. We have some other ones. We literally just got at Aldi like 2 months ago. Very relentless on the Brothers Barbecue. I'm not driving to the fucking other side of the city. We just got an Aldi's across the street, actually. Like not even 400 yards from my house that way. I haven't been in there yet. I guess I should. Should I go in there? Not all of us. That's all right. Imam Co is good too, Corey. But if you guys do want WODprep to continue hiring, we need more people to join our program. Join the program. Jody loves it. Vicky's on the mentorship. So, but yeah, thank you guys for being here. If you guys are interested in some programming, mentoring, one-on-one coaching, all the things, hit me up at cj@wodprep.com. If you're looking for some good online coffee, Zach is the man. Candlestick. Oh my God. Anyways, don't get me started on Grant's programming and fitness. Sorry, Tega. How's your foot? All right, last question. How's your foot, buddy? How you feeling? How's surgery? This coffee is really good this morning. Easy peasy. Don't pull a Gabby. All right. Re-rupture in Achilles is generally common, but usually it's consistent with accelerated rehab. I don't know anything about it. To say surgery failed is such a hard thing to say, right? I'd love to see what her rehab was, and this is like I did want to talk about this. So last thing, and to say that surgery failed and then it re-ruptured, so surgery failed and then it re-ruptured, I don't actually know. That doesn't quite make a lot of sense. She was only 5 months in, well, really 3 months in when it re-ruptured. Usually, like, it's people doing, like pushing rehab too fast, right? So I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I hope she was being smart, following protocol, but a lot of times what we see in Achilles rehab or like a bicep tenodesis is that we just push too hard too early, right? Doesn't have time for those anchors to set and that tissue to heal, right? And then it tears, right? So it was February. She got it in November. I thought she got it earlier. No, I guess not. I guess because it was late October was Rogue. I don't know. 3 months to say it failed is tough, and for a re-rupture, I'm guessing she was out of the boot, probably doing bounding stuff. In my opinion, it was probably too early, but I don't know. I don't have a full picture of it. But it's just it's such an interesting thing to say that it failed at 3 months and it re-ruptured. Again, I don't know what she was doing, but I feel like I saw videos of her doing some like stuff out of the boot, kind of dynamic. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it stinks for her. I hope it goes well the second time around. So, all right. Yeah, perfect. Good job, Sean. You're hired now. That's it. All right, guys. Enjoy the day. Crush it. I was about to say be a legend, but I can't say that. Richie says that. I need something. I need a better sign off. Help me with a sign off. Give me some thoughts. Put it in the comments once the live comments are done. Help me with a sign off. I need a better sign off. All right, guys. Enjoy. Peace. Whoops.